Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Jewelry Call. It's December 17th, and we're talking Egyptian revival jewelry today. And I love this stuff, so I'm excited about this one. Um, Anybody have any questions before we get started? If they have to run out, otherwise we'll take questions afterwards as well.
One of my favorites. Me
Yes.
too.
All right, I'm going to start the presentation. Give me a second, share my screen.
That's really nice, Celine.
Don't you love that?
I do love that.
That's so cool. Okay. Wow, we don't want to go that far. Here we go. All right. Egyptian revival jewelry. The time frame for this was it started in the 1800s, and it began because it was first popularized by Napoleon's Egyptian campaign, which was between 1789 and 1801. And there was a fascination with this ancient Egyptian culture following Napoleon's expedition and his archaeological discoveries. And they call it Egyptomania. And it was influenced by art, fashion, and jewelry design globally. And then it was revived two more times, which we'll talk about. Its appearance was inspired by Egyptian temples and artifacts, by use of symmetrical geometric designs and patterns. And it was also influenced by authentic ancient Egyptian jewelry designs, which I think is most likely what they found in the tomb. And they were very intricate and detailed. Some of the shapes and motifs we're going to cover because there's very distinct shapes, like scarabs. And this was a symbol of rebirth. The Egyptian scarab was one of the most well-recognized symbols in ancient Egypt, appearing in amulets, on jewelry, and in funerary context. Modeled after the dung beetle, the scarab was closely connected with the sun god, Capri, who brought the sunrise over the horizon each day. Thus, it became a symbol of rebirth, regeneration, and protection in the afterlife. That's why they find them in the tombs. Lotus flowers was another particular motif. Serpents, you'll find a lot in Egyptian revival. And the Eye of Horus was also pretty popular. They also used depictions of gods and pharaohs and hieroglyphs, also shapes similar to pyramids, obelisks, ankhs, and cartouches, which this is a different type of cartouche than I'm familiar with. And then we reach, well, first let me talk a little bit about the materials they used in that time frame. They used gold, enamel, turquoise, carnelian, and lapis lazuli. They didn't have any of that fake stuff back then. Some pieces incorporated authentic ancient Egyptian artifacts, which I thought was pretty cool. And the second time period, which was the 50th anniversary, was in the 1920s. It was revived strongly after the discovery of King Tut's tomb, which was in 1922 by Howard Carter. It sparked a second wave of Egyptomania. The Art Deco era really influenced the pieces of that time with sleek, modernized design, blending Egyptian motifs and contemporary. Some of the common motifs they used during this time frame included pyramids, sphinxes, falcons, cobras, and sun discs. I've also seen some solar boats. The materials that they used during this time frame was more of the affordable versions like glass, faux gems, marcasites, and gold plating. The use of vibrant enamel in colors with like turquoise, green, and coral red. So some of the costume designers that picked up on this one was Coro, which incorporated Egyptian motifs into mass market designs. So now they flooded the market with them, as well as Trifari and Haskell. Some luxury brands like Cartier created elaborate high-end collections that were inspired by Egyptian themes as well. Then we reached the 100th anniversary, which was between 1970s to the 80s. And it was a renewed culture interest in the ancient civilizations, which was boosted by touring expeditions of King Tut's treasures. I don't know if anybody had a chance to go to one of them. I haven't and always wanted to, but I thought that would be pretty interesting to see. Then the larger, bolder pieces reflecting the maximalist fashion trends of the era. So they incorporated what they were using in their other jewelry into the style at that time. So they used heavy necklaces, statement earrings, and oversized cuffs with Egyptian imagery. And they used plastic and resin for costume jewelry alongside gold tone metals, rhinestones, and brightly colored enamel. Some of the prominent designers of this time was Kenneth J. Lane, and they created affordable statement pieces with Egyptian themes like you'll see here on this picture. Givenchy, Givenchy, and Yves Saint Laurent had some big bold elements, but in a higher end type of jewelry. And then we talk a little bit about the symbolism, which the scarab beetle stood for eternal life and resurrection. The Eye of Horus stood for protection and health. The Ankh, life and immortality. And the lotus stood for purity and rebirth. The materials they used during this time frame was kind of a combination of the past two time frames. So like they used resin, resin, gold plating, glass, and faux stones. But they also used the luxury items like gold, diamonds, turquoise, lapis, and enamel. And the incorporation of modern materials like acrylics for contemporary changes. Egyptian revival jewelry remains popular to this day, as we all just entered the 150th anniversary of it, which was in 2022, as people we're still fascinated, by this ancient culture.
That one word, the angst or whatever, angst, whatever the heck that is, that is a really good keyword if you get something that's in that, because people that collect them, and I was oblivious to what that symbol was for a long time. So that was a great point.
What is it? That's what I was going to ask.
It was, let me see if I can share my screen again.
I was looking, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. I hadn't heard of that before.
Let's see if I can find it back.
Well, you can do it later, Lynn. This is a great presentation. I don't want to get you off target, but when Carrie mentioned that, I said, yeah, I don't know what that is.
Hang on. It's this type of cross looking item. So what did I say it stood for? It meant life and immortality. So it was just a symbol.
Yeah, I remember back in like the late 70s, early 80s, that was big back then, because I went and saw one of the exhibitions at down at the Smithsonian when they were there. The Ankh is right there, Ankh, whatever it is. It looks like a little person, like standing there with their arms out. But that's
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
always thought it was a funny cross.
yeah.
that's what I thought too. But yeah, now you say that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know that's it's supposed to be a person, but to me, that's how I always recognize it. Is it looks like a person with their arms, like a scarecrow.
Maybe it's
But
a combination.
yeah,
Now that you say that, yeah, now that you say that, I see it, but I didn't, I don't always see things like that
yeah.
either.
I think
But,
it's something like the sun, the Ra, with the sun on the top, like the person's head on the top, and then like with the arms
Mhm.
out or whatever. I think that's that's
that
just
would make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Do you guys list a lot of that stuff? A lot of Egyptian revival type stuff? I love finding it. It sells really good usually. Even if it's like the newer, cheaper stuff, it sells pretty good. You had mentioned KJL, and I hadn't thought about that in terms of Egyptian revival, but you're absolutely right. There's a lot of undertones of the Egyptian revival with KJL, and um, it's just funny. Like this is something that's so good about having like a jewelry call or people that are like-minded, because that's just something I wouldn't have hadn't really thought of that in that terms. But you're right. It has a lot of influence in it. And it probably was influenced by the anniversary, or by one of the revival time periods when it was really popular. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
had a
love
big
the pieces. It's not something I probably would wear too much, but I do love the pieces. They're just so unique.
I do too. I will share my screen, and I just listed a scarab. Lots of the scarab stuff that we find now that's like big and chunky, a lot of it's carved soapstone. Um, and you can tell because it's not as heavy as like regular stone, but yet you can feel it and you're like, well, it's not acrylic. What is it? Lots of times it's carved soapstone if you need to know that. And the scarabs are
I
really
just
cool.
shipped out I just shipped out a carved scarab this bracelet this morning. So they do sell constant.
They do. Yep, they do.
I
Uh,
vaguely remember back like in the 80s, Joan Collins, not so much on Dynasty when she was on Dynasty, but like when you used to see pictures of her out and about, whatever, before, she used to have the kind of vibrant color and big bold kind of stuff like that. She was always known for wearing those things. I don't know if she wore Kenneth J. Lane or whatever, but I remember her seeing it in those like jewel tone colors and, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and another brand that's very Egyptian revival focused is MMA. The Museum of Metropolitan Arts has a line that's really, really sells fast for the Egyptian revival stuff.
Good
All
morning,
right,
everybody.
good morning, Thomas.
Hi,
Hey,
Thomas.
hello, can I change the subject just for a quick second, just to brag for like 30 seconds?
Sure, we have time for a good brag.
Okay. First of all, my Nike Shocks that I had to send to get authenticated, I got my email yesterday from them that said that they were right, exactly like I said, old and used, and they're shipping to the customer. So that was a
Great.
quick $70 for an item I paid $5 for. Second, the Fender guitar briefcase that I purchased a couple of weeks back,
Oh,
I posted the pictures. I finally got around to actually posting it last night at 8 o'clock. I put a asking price of $199.99. I sold it this morning for $170 plus shipping.
that's awesome. That's like Santa karma coming your way.
Yes, I hope so, because I need it.
Congrats.
Good job.
Okay,
Yeah,
done bragging.
that's good.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I always have time to listen to good wins here.
Well, it was off topic of what you're on, so I wasn't going to say anything if you didn't say I could.
Well, you don't want to like you didn't have any good. It's the jewelry call, Thomas. So you didn't have any great jewelry.
I haven't touched jewelry yet. I don't know anything about it, and I've not had time. There's a couple decent looking packages on Facebook Marketplace in my area, like mini tubs for $20 a tub, but I just haven't had time to hook up and go there and pick them up. Especially this month, like I said, not only do I have my day job, I've got 5 Santa gigs Friday, as of right now, from Friday through Sunday.
Well,
So
you got to just keep trucking. And I have been selling jewelry for quite a while, and I still feel like I don't know anything a lot of days, so it's just part of the gig. Here's
I
some
do intend
examples.
on getting into it, just not just till probably till after the new year.
Well, I feel you. These are all different examples, and I did it a little differently. I didn't want to like do just brooches, just necklaces, because I feel like the whole vibe of Egyptian revival is just kind of I don't know, you can see the colors better if we just kind of go through them and look, and I'll stop on ones that like I would absolutely pick up. And like this necklace alone probably maybe wouldn't have been a huge seller, but they did use great keywords for this, right? So they used Cleopatra, which is a good keyword for that kind of necklace, and Egyptian revival. Otherwise, this necklace is not a special necklace, in my opinion. But the keywords and the color and the style just really sold that necklace, in my opinion. So that was a really good one. And Avon did have some lines that were more Egyptian revival type-ish, which we don't always think of. Like Avon, for one, is high selling stuff, but they do have a couple good things. This necklace, I would almost guarantee you, maybe not wouldn't have sold for 20 bucks if they hadn't used those good words. So I am not against keywords like some people think I am. I am just when they're used well and in the right manner, they can be very good.
Was
I
that like
just don't. I'm
officially
not.
an Avon Egyptian revival one, or someone like said it was? Because even I use it on everything, and I don't think I would have thought of to use Egyptian revival on
I
that
think
one.
I wouldn't have either.
Okay.
But I think it's
I'm like, I don't see
the
it.
scroll work. You know, like it's one of those. Now they say it, I can see it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought about it though.
Hey, is there such a thing as medieval and possibly even like pirate themed jewelry? Because
Oh yeah.
those three I would be interested in. I've always been fascinated with the Egyptian pharaohs and everything, and
Yep.
I've always been into the knights in shining armor, Camelot Day stuff, and
Oh yeah,
Pirates of the
goth
Caribbean
jewelry.
before it was ever even existed.
Yeah, goth jewelry is super popular. And actually, if I was an everything seller and I was gonna like take on jewelry in a different way than I am now, um, I think specializing in like a theme or specializing in something you're really interested in is a great idea, because then you can really learn a lot about it and know exactly what things to pick up or not pick up. But yeah, goth jewelry, Egyptian revival jewelry, things like that I feel like it does pretty good.
All three of those I have been fascinated in since I was a child.
So that would be a good place to start. Here's some MMA jewelry that's I always think these look like, I don't know if they're supposed, it says it's a warrior goddess lioness. I'm never really sure what these things are. That person says it's a panther. Of course, it could be different, but yeah, it's very, I never know what to call some of these things, but Egyptian revival keyword, if used correctly, is pretty good. So that tiger's eye one, I'm not sure that, maybe it's got a scarab in the middle. That might be. No. Yes. So
Yeah, they're
see
carved.
these right
Yeah.
here. Yep. See these right here? Those are like scarab marks. So that's why they use that word there. The little carved scarab. Actually, that looks
Carrie,
nice.
can you go back up? I want to ask you about the long necklace, the KJL, about fourth down. Yeah. It says scarab, ank, and what's that word at the end, that DJ'd? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know. You know,
Anybody
Lynn?
know
I
that?
have no idea.
I just think sometimes when they put those in, I'd like to learn what it is, but I'm glad I'm not the only one. Now that's a good example of Egyptian revival.
It's
What's
one of
another
those
Oh,
things
yeah.
keyword?
I just looked up. It's the middle one.
Oh, this one right here.
Yep, yep. It says goddess stability.
Oh, all
See, I
right.
didn't know that either. So to me, in an untrained eye of mine, I sit and I see a chatelaine. I see it like
Yeah,
it's
I
an
see that.
Egyptian revival chatelaine. Not a true chatelaine, but
That
it's kind of what we think of.
that center one almost looked like an obelisk.
Yeah.
Obelisk.
We don't know. We just throw
Is
around
that
jewelry
different?
terms and we don't really know how to say most of them. Or I don't
Well,
anyway.
obviously neither do I.
We just guess. Christine says the Ankh DJ and was are Egyptian symbols that represent life, stability, and dominion, respectively. They're often combined in amulets, artwork, and other depictions. Yeah. And I think that's what makes part of the Egyptian revival so interesting is, you know,
That's
like this
one word
one,
I did not run across that word in my research. It's
well,
funny.
there's probably
I
so
want
many of
to
them.
add
How
to
could
that a little bit. I know everybody's looking up stuff. Wikipedia says commonly understood to represent his spine, and then it goes on to say what everybody else was saying, but it says it represents his spine. So
Hmm.
yeah.
me either, Christine? I Google lots of things I don't know. See now this one's really cool. I think that this cameo type is very cool. And
That is
that
cool.
keyword probably helped that too.
Greek
I went
mythology
to,
too.
yeah, mythology jewelry does really well. There's no doubt about that. And horoscope jewelry, I don't know. You can have the cheapest necklace, but if it's got a horoscope thing on it, somebody's gonna buy it. So I don't really. Ooh, look at that one. That went cheap. Now some of this, so Temu turns out a lot of this kind of thing. So you do have to watch it. However, we're not saying it's a brand. So I mean, if it's still decent quality that you would sell, that's a really neat little stone behind there.
Yeah.
I was thinking it's like reflecting that that is
Yeah.
newer.
It
But-
is newer. Yeah, for sure. But it's still really pretty. I sold a really big new brooch yesterday for like 30 bucks. And to myself, I'm thinking, why? And I put it as modern. So I wasn't trying to fool anybody. The snake cuffs do pretty good. They don't really have to be branded as long as you word them correctly. I mean, I've had the ones that literally are, I mean, they're new, like they're, you know, from this one is, yeah, I don't know, I can't tell. It's brass, it's cool. People like serpents, they like the gothic stuff. Isis moon goddess wings.
I just sold a snake bracelet yesterday. People do like them, yeah.
People do.
My
And
mom used to
I've
have
never
one of those when I was a kid.
well, and some of them, so I had a real bendable necklace the other day that had like a serpent on it, like it was like flex tubing, like that I'd see outside here. You know, like the flex tubing, and it was all coiled. It was kind of cool, and it sold right away. I probably had it priced too low. Lynn, please remind me, I had 2 things sell within seconds of listing them, which means I probably screwed something up. So I wanted you to look at them. So I saved them for today, and I was going to share that Sarah Coventry because who knew? I didn't know Richard.
Probably right place at the right time, like you told me.
I know, I hope so, but I'm thinking, oh, like, I don't know. You always wonder, so I always ask somebody that might know more than me. That's a very strong price for an MMA necklace. Good job, whoever that was. Yeah,
Now,
that was
when you
Now,
say
that
MMA,
picture-
what is that?
MMA, so it's Museum Metropolitan Arts. I'm not sure which order that goes in, but
Because I was thinking mixed martial arts. I'm like, how can that jewelry go for so good?
no, the MMA, the museum, and it does go pretty good.
Thank you.
I
Yep,
was with
so
you
there's
there,
those
Thomas.
are some.
I was with Thomas on that. I was like, MMA.
Sorry, thanks for asking because I didn't really think about that. That's very cool. I don't know that I would have thought I don't know that I would have thought Egyptian revival on that, but that is a very cool
She says
enamel.
Peking glass. It looks more Asian to me, but
Yes.
I don't know. Could be wrong, but
And people do keyword spam Egyptian revival a lot. Does that mean it's totally wrong? No, because it's in the eyes of the beholder type thing, but um, it happens. But I see lots of cloisonne stuff get passed off as Egyptian revival. I did buy a whole lot from an auction. It was more Asian, Chinese type thing, but it's going to be some stuff that's going to take some research and I'll share when I find out what I'm looking at.
Hey, what's your thoughts on jewelry going to either pawn shops or even a jeweler's, like K Jewelers or something, and purchasing their clearance stuff? Is there money to be made on that stuff or no?
I don't know, probably, but I don't know enough about that kind of jewelry that ends up there that I would be able to do very well because my knowledge isn't there. So somebody that had
Okay.
the knowledge of that, maybe. I just don't have that in my wheelhouse.
Okay, thank you.
So this is a brand that confuses me sometimes because sometimes I feel like their pieces go really high and then other times not so much. This may have been a subject matter that sold this, but the Sphinx stuff Some of it does really well, and some of it I can't get 20 bucks for it. So, but that's an exceptional necklace.
I like that.
I do too. And
I
I
wouldn't
do
wear it, but
well, me either. I don't even wear jewelry, but
me neither.
it's very cool. And
I don't even wear a wedding ring.
I don't either. I feel like sometimes people don't like it when you see a win. I love it when people are winning in the jewelry category and getting good prices, because that means it sets us up to get good prices. So yay for everybody getting good prices. Um, this is a very typical Egyptian revival piece. It's got the scarab going, it's got the eye, it's probably got other things I just don't see. So that is a very good example.
That's the boat.
Yep.
I'm sorry I'm full of questions today, but when someone says revival to me, I think of either religious or something coming back. So is that what you're meaning by Egyptian revival? The jewelry is coming back into popularity, or is that just a terminology?
Oh, what do you think, Lynn? A little bit of both, but yeah,
It is.
like
It's being revived. That at that time frame, it was revived probably because of something that happened, like the King Tut's tomb unveiling basically made it revive. And then again, 50 years later, they're celebrating the 50th anniversary of it. So then it was revived. All the jewelry started coming back again, and now 100 years and 150 years again.
So
this
coming
is a
back into
beautiful necklace.
popularity.
Yep.
Right.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
See how this has the scarab? That's why they called it Egyptian revival. This is a beautiful necklace. It's got very nice findings on it. I don't know what that, oh, it's a sadie green. So this isn't an old one. So here's a great example of, I see that from afar and maybe it's just me, but I thought, oh, that could be like check glass. I mean, that looks like an old, beautiful necklace. It's not, it's new. I would have been fooled from afar without a tag. Just maybe if I felt it, maybe I wouldn't, but
Or if you turned it over.
yeah, but we can't see the back because there's no back. But yes, if I hadn't been able to turn over, you could have fooled me on that one.
Is Sadie the brand? Or that was the color?
Sadie Green. Yep, Sadie Green is a brand.
Oh, okay.
It's a newer brand. This is a Franklin Mint one. Some of their Egyptian revival does very good. I've gotten it a few times. Be very careful using the word tortoise shell, even if it's fake faux tortoise shell in your title. eBay doesn't love tortoise shell. It has to do with, like endangerment things.
I think there's a clothing line called that.
Oh, maybe
That
that's
could be
Sadie. There's another
dangerous.
Sadie Green. I bet Sadie Green must be. I'm not real familiar with it. I've heard it, but it might, there's another piece from them. Look at that. So I feel bad for this person because I feel like on a buy it now, that could have been like a pretty expensive necklace. That's a really nice statement piece.
Yeah, they
And it's
Yeah.
the boat on that.
I sell a lot of big statement necklaces like that, but some of them just do not sell for
that's probably true
much.
too. Gotta have the right buyer. I had a auction faux pas yesterday myself. So I put some up for auction and I get it. I tell you guys all the time, put it on the lowest amount you'd be happy with. Well, I think I misgauged my happy that day. But because I wasn't, but it was okay because I got it on myself. So if you are searching for jewelry, and we always say to search badly for somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, if you search bug jewelry, lots of times you'll find scarab jewelry. Because people don't know that that's what it is. So I do
Ooh,
that
yeah,
once in a
that's a
while.
good idea.
I will put bug jewelry and you'll come up with some good stuff.
Or
That's a
beetle
very strong
jewelry.
beetle jewelry, correct? See, I've done that also. That is such a good price for
Wow.
MMA. I mean, I sell MMA and it's good, but that is exceptional.
I don't find a lot of necklaces. I find more
Either.
brooches by them.
And maybe that's it because I don't know that I've ever had a necklace by them. So maybe it's more on the rare side because. So this is a. So I say, I know it's Givenchy is how you really say it, but I botched that word. So
We
really a simple
say Da
necklace.
Vinci.
I do say
Yeah,
Givenchy.
that's just
I always
like,
say that's my that's the Midwest way to say that is Givenchy.
that is like the standard style for them. I see
what I was
that
gonna
one
say.
more common
I do too.
all the time.
Yep. I was just gonna say that. This is like those color tones and everything. That's like a very
Mhm.
standard one. I agree. After we finish this page, we're gonna go and do high to low because it's always fun and exciting to see the ones that aren't they aren't gold or silver, but they're bringing great prices. There's a Les Bernard. Les Bernard. So I have mixed feelings over Mr. Les Bernard. I feel like sometimes I think it's going down in value. I feel like when I first started doing jewelry, Les Bernard was like super great all the time, and now I feel like not as much. That's just my opinion. Oh, look at that. You know what I would have done with that?
Yes.
Torn that set apart. I
You,
would have ripped
you
apart
would have broke it up.
broke that family up. Um, that's a great he's a great seller, by the way.
That is a great set.
Very high quality. I've paid up for a few sets with that seller and I've never been disappointed. Very good quality. They package well. Good seller.
Beautiful set.
Beautiful set. But you know, when I see that set, I see 200, I see 110, 120, another 100. So I see sets in like, wow, that was a lot of money sitting there. So somebody could have bought that and split it apart and made some good money.
I would have probably put the earrings with the necklace though.
I was gonna say I would put the earrings probably with something though, I guess, because they probably wouldn't sell by themselves.
Yeah, on Trifari I checked because I had a pair of like
Oh, they're
stupid like
Trifari. Never mind, I missed it. I thought they were
yeah,
okay.
so some of those little earrings that would look like nothing with Trifari, I at least check because some of them go for a couple $100 because I don't know, maybe they don't see them very often, but I checked. But otherwise, I agree. I do stick that in there. There's a nice big chunky scarab there. There's another. So the Whiting and Davis, they have a whole line of those different kinds of snake bracelets, and they do pretty well too. I just like the snake bracelets in general. Even these little plain scarab brooches, we find them a lot. I get really tempted to lot them up sometimes because they just seem like little nothing, but they do sell. I mean, usually about $20 you can get out of them. Accessocraft, that is a good brand for Egyptian revival. I hadn't thought of that until I just saw that, but they're big, they're overstated. They have a lot of the colorways. They have the serpents a lot of times, bird, the pharaoh. I like Accessocraft in general. Their scarabs. It's a good brand. It's usually really well made. So I see a lot of Czech type stuff that gets called Egyptian revival, and I'm not sure if it is or if it's Czech, but I'm not an expert in that either. Let's go to high to low to see what kind of crazy fun stuff. Oh yeah, that was a brooch I see a lot. I think it's Avon. I just barely saw the top of it. Maybe it's not. So that's not even Avon, but I get this brooch quite a bit. It's another one that sometimes I list alone just because it usually sells pretty good. The Egyptian princess. Nefertiti, is that it? Tidy? I don't know.
Yeah.
I get that one a lot. Avon has a set that's the Egyptian princess one too. In the Mayan, they have that Mayan line, which is also slipping in value a little. Wow. Look at that. It's sterling silver, but like in these types of pieces, it's not the silver probably holding the value. It's just that it's gorgeous. And that stone in the center is probably.
Yeah, the lapis combination of them two. I mean, lapis in general doesn't sell for big money, but that looks big, like a big stone.
So it says sodalite. So is that maybe, oh, that's probably these little things at the bottom.
Yeah.
Or they're not sure if it's I bet it is lapis though.
And how do we know it's a 30s? Is a class something that's like a 30s class?
I don't know.
Probably
Maybe from the back.
the Egyptian revival time, with the bar link chains. Yeah, they don't show the class, but it's got a bar link chain on it.
Notice the flowers there around the edges, like those are the
Oh,
same.
the lotus flowers.
They
Yeah.
just look That other necklace that we were looking at before that we couldn't figure out why that they had the same flowers. So that maybe that's why that other one was Egyptian.
Hey, that's a really good observation there, Suzanne. I didn't notice that till you said it, but you're right.
Same here.
Gorgeous.
If you go back up, look at the lotus flower necklace above it.
Yep. Oh, it's Crown Trifari, guys. I've never seen that one.
Ooh,
Those are beautiful colors.
Wow, it's gorgeous.
enamel.
In really nice condition.
Yep.
Very nice condition. Yeah, some of these do shock me on the prices a little bit. Oh, there's a Lawrence
Furby.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, there's a Lawrence Furbo for Suzanne.
Now,
I've still never found one in the wild.
after you look at this, I want you to, well, when you finish showing these, you have to look at the ones that are on sale because I was looking at Lawrence Verba yesterday or the day before because I'm thinking about selling some of mine. I know it's hard for me to do, but it's on the tip of my fingers to do it. But anyway, there's a set somebody has for, actually it's her, has for sale with the earrings and the necklace, and it is just like drop down gorgeous. So when we get done, we'll look at it.
You go to list your high-end jewelry, Suzanne. Not that I'm amazing or anything. I will help you with your titles and stuff like that to make sure you get the most out of it because you have some amazing jewelry and I want to make sure you max out your value.
And then you can buy that other one you like now.
Oh, absolutely.
So here's Napier, guys.
Gorgeous.
I think that's the highest price Napier I've seen. I don't know what they took on offer, but even if it was half, that'd be amazing.
I saw that the other day and I
Yeah.
thought to myself, wow, I don't know if I would have known. I mean, I would have looked it up and maybe hopefully realized.
I would have bought it at like $10 maybe. I would have been like, oh yeah, I'll take a $10 chance on that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have had that kind of
I wouldn't have thought it either. Oh, there's the
Carlos
Crown
Navarro. I
Trifari,
don't know who
same
that is.
one. It's almost the same design as the other one.
Yep, it's probably part of that line.
Yep.
Yep. Very nice. I saw a couple fake Trafaris on an auction again yesterday. Yeah, some of these are very cool.
That
Wow.
that
what is
Napier
special
sold
about
for
that?
200.
Still pretty solid. Hey, so there's thanks for looking that up because that's a really good lesson in you never know what kind of offer somebody's willing to take.
Yep.
Right.
That's a very nice detailed
Older.
I was
Yeah.
gonna
yeah,
say
it
looks
is older. There was even yeah, see the little clasp? How cool is that clasp?
That is.
beautiful.
So that
Very
one's going to
fine.
go authenticity guaranteed. And I have a piece right now that they want to go authenticity guaranteed. But then I've sold $600 pieces that they never sent. So if anybody gets that whole thing figured out, I would love to learn about it.
Which one of
Because-
yours is going?
It was the Trifari fur clip.
Oh,
But I'm like, what are they going to do? It's not, I didn't say it was sterling. I didn't like, who's authenticating what on that? Like, it's not a gemstone. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, what
I
triggered?
don't know. I don't know because the price can't just be it.
Is it a price and brand only specific, like with sneakers, it's only certain brands?
It's very, I don't know. I don't have it figured out yet. That's why I need somebody else to know about that because I've tried. I can't, I'm not sure. That's a good point. Maybe it's like certain of the high-end brands trigger it with the price.
Do you want to hear something disappointing on, I just looked up that necklace on Tower Peak. It sold for $200.
Hmm.
I would have thought it would have gone for more than that, but
I always want to know on Niger Brothers stuff. Like there's so many things that get labeled as Niger Brothers that aren't. It's one of
That
those,
looks like it.
but that's what I was gonna say. This one, if I was gonna say is a good example. It kind of has all the things going for it. In the back. People use that term.
I don't know anything about that.
I'm
So detailed. It's more detailed than most pieces.
I'm no expert in that, but people throw that word around. So don't, I guess the lesson in that is don't buy something because it says it is if it's not signed. And most of their pieces weren't, but Lots of auction houses, I see things labeled as it, and you can tell they just used Google Lens and decided it was. So just do your own homework like always, because it's not. That one's 14 karat. That's why it's so much.
I was just gonna say, wait. What's
Yeah,
up with that one?
It's 14 karat. That's always a big help in price, guys.
Yeah.
So this is an enamel. Trying to figure out what's up with this one, because that's pretty new, I think.
Probably 80s.
All right, ladies,
And it doesn't even have a maker.
I hate to do this because this is quite interesting today, but I have to get off here. Thank you for having me while I could.
No, we
See you,
appreciate it. Thank
Thomas.
you.
Bye-bye.
I don't know. I would have missed the boat on that one, guys. I would have thought I was pretty excited at like $100 on that, but that's pretty cool.
Well, let's
The price
see
is
what they
cool.
sold it for.
I would have been like,
probably
$5, yay.
Yeah, I would have missed that one. Oh, look, Hattie Carnegie. Scarab. I've been seeing a couple fakes of Hattie Carnegie too. You can tell because they add the plate on, and you can tell the plate wasn't original. It's nice. There's another one labeled Max Niger.
Wow.
That's really nice. Very nice.
Intricate.
Very nice.
I'd have a hard time getting rid of that.
Yeah, like if I was gonna collect stuff, like that kind of stuff's the stuff I would collect, because they're just those big bracelets like that are just so pretty.
Just the detail in that is amazing.
Yep. Very nice. Hey, there's a sash pin. So this brand we've gone over before. I don't know if it was in this group or the other group, but that George Steer stuff is always high. And I don't know that I've ever seen one. So I don't know how rare they are, but I've dug through a lot of jewelry and I've never found one.
What is it? It looks, go to the logo.
Yep,
again.
George Steer. So
Oh, I
hang
know,
on there.
but they just
There we
have
go.
the initials?
G and S.
G and S.
Yep.
No, I've never seen it.
I don't think I have either. Yeah, that bracelet was cool. So Egyptian Revival is a very good, there's another George Steer. But he has belt buckles, sash buckles, and I only know that from reading about it because I found one, but I've read about it. That's a very
How do you
cool
spell his last name?
Steere.
Gorgeous.
That's very gorgeous.
I'm
I
gonna
get
add
confused
that.
with Egyptian Revival and the Asian jewelry. Sometimes I think maybe I need to pay closer attention, because I think at first light, sometimes I think things are Asian when they're not. That is so cool. Look at that in that light. That would have been my leading picture. That is really nice. Shows the carving better. So some of these are strictly expensive because of the
Oh, look at the Juliana and the bracelet. Oh, it's a belt.
belt. Yep.
Well, if it was a belt, I would have expected a lot more for that for the price.
Hang on, I'm stuck looking at this beautiful thing right here that's not Egyptian Revival, but I need to look at it.
Wow.
Wow,
That's
look at
gorgeous.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. That is beautiful.
Sure
It is
is.
beautiful.
Can't go wrong with Juliana.
Can't go wrong with Juliana when people actually have what they say they have.
Yeah,
Juliana.
Yeah.
When
But
it's
they
the
say
real
everything's
thing.
Juliana.
Right.
Everything. Yeah. Lynn and I were looking at something the other day and I'm like, what? That's not Juliana? Isn't all rhinestone jewelry Juliana? Because that's what people like to say. I've never seen that before.
No.
Lots of Juliana, I'm sure, that hasn't seen the light of day for a while.
Well,
Yeah.
belts too. I would just be amazed at finding a Juliana belt.
But if I ran across this in the wild, Suzanne, do you think I would know this as a Juliana belt?
No, because we don't look at, and you know, the thing I don't like about this is they don't show the backs. They show 3 pictures.
Mhm.
And I don't care whether they say it's a book piece. It sort of bothers me. Even the big sellers that I know really well, that is scary to me to pay that much. Even this is a gorgeous piece.
Yeah, I want to
Wow.
see the back.
But I
You know, I
do
want-
want to see it. I want to see more pictures than 3. But that is fabulous.
That probably could have brought more money.
Yeah.
It's that
Wow.
fabulous. Like you could have held out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would have paid more than that for it.
That's at
Look at that.
least $500 or $600 piece.
You see
Yeah,
the guy,
At
the
least.
face in that?
Wow.
Wow.
The
Yeah.
wind, isn't that
And it's
the wind
blue.
guy?
Yep.
Wind guy.
That's a fabulous necklace.
That is fabulous. So that screams, so this absolutely is Egyptian revival. It's got the beetle and all that great stuff on it. So they did use Czech too, because I'm like, wow, this is like looks like a Czech Egyptian revival piece. It does. That's really nice.
We missed the boat on that. When was that sold?
Well, it wasn't on my radar, out of my budget. The 13th, November 13th, the day I had my
Wow.
surgery. There's another Hattie Carnegie. So yeah, there's some great pieces in here, guys. And I think we do, at least it's one of those that I know, like if you tell me go start sourcing arts and crafts pieces, you know, until recently I would have thought you were talking about like making arts and crafts. So like at least Egyptian revival, I feel like I know what it means and what I look for. Right. Oh, there's an original by Robert. Lots of his stuff goes pretty good. Oh yeah, look at the serpent.
Mesh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Again, I would use the word mesh in the title.
That's cool.
That is very cool. I think that's a, yeah, I suppose it is a serpent. It kind of looks like a fox with a serpent tail. I should not be left up to interpretation for what my things are because I don't think I know what the animals are and stuff like I'm supposed to.
Okay, Carrie,
Um,
just show your screen and look for Lawrence Verba Egyptian Revival. So you can see that set.
Can do. I always spell it wrong because it's not like how I think, is it? Is that right?
VRBA.
Oh, I have souls on. Hang on, let me take my souls off.
There it is, the second one. That's the one I'm looking at.
Oh, wow.
Just had it up on my screen. I thought it was so gorgeous. Look at that.
I want that lady sourcing. I'm telling you, she gets
Me
such great
too.
stuff.
Oh,
She gets good stuff.
she
And
sure
she
does.
makes good listings. She doesn't skimp on the pictures usually. She does a good job.
And she will take a price too. I've, offered lower dollars and she's pretty good.
Where is she located?
I don't know. Her name is Jennifer.
She is
And-
located in Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Okay.
Seriously.
I mean, the sourcing capital of the world, right, guys? North Platte, nonetheless.
Mhm.
She is really good. Her pictures, I mean, she just has beautiful jewelry, but I just thought that was so pretty.
All right. I'm gonna be into my orders this week. And the earrings I've sold exactly like it as before, which makes me think I'm probably missing something. I love that plastic fish. This I mean, I only got 30 bucks out of it, but like I love that plastic fish.
Aw.
It's
That's cute as can
Lipstick
be.
on.
I thought they're I thought they were kind of neat. It wasn't like a high dollar sale, but I thought they were neat. So these earrings, I have sold ones exactly like it before, and they also sold instantly. I don't know if it was to the same lady or not, but They're not
Amazing.
marked.
Mm.
Super light. Sold within like seconds. And then the
Are those-
same day, there's my
Definitely
auction
not
problem.
gold, right?
I don't think so, but you know, maybe I missed it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you do gold testing?
Not on something like that, I don't. And plus it was
Mm.
like so light that I don't even know if it would have like made my scale register. Seriously. It was that light. I don't
What
know.
test do you guys use? Do you have any test kits that you use in particular for gold testing?
Lynn probably does.
That's I hate it, and I never know if I'm actually like correct or not. So
Yeah, me either.
Well, I would have been
That was-
curious, so I would have took a magnet to it first and just,
Mhm.
is this possibly gold? Especially around
Can you use yourself?
being that old of an age.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I don't know. Hang on, I gotta disconnect from my Rolo so Roddy can use it. Okay, go ready. What else was the other thing that sold like super immediately that I was like, what? It
Palm
wasn't
tree?
palm tree. No, my palm trees always sell fast. I don't know. It's just like people must really like palm trees. They are
Reminds me of
very
Florida or
I
Hawaii.
think so. I don't really know. It just cracks me up though. Might have been these earrings. I did take an offer for 40 something, but
I know
yeah,
some
these
sander
sold.
can go high. I don't know which ones though, but yeah.
They're pretty nice. I mean, for clip-on earrings, it was pretty good.
That's a great price.
Yeah.
It was all right. And then in the Facebook group, if you didn't see my post about my Sarah Coventry, I had no idea that any Sarah Coventry was ever 10 karat gold.
Me either.
So, and while way back
Yep.
when 10 karat gold wasn't a big deal, 10 karat gold can bring decent money now. So,
That was an award pin or something,
it was
wasn't
a
it?
5-year service award, which makes me wonder what the 20-year service award looks
Mhm.
like.
Yeah, usually them service awards have gold or rubies or sapphires in them.
And then while I was talking to Lynn, I was showing her the price comps for solds versus listed on that pin, and there was somebody that had one listed and I bought it for 25 bucks while I was talking to her. Because
Huh.
I'm like, hey, I'm gonna buy this and flip it back over. So now I'm gonna have 2 Sarah Coventry ones that have that, but I just never would have been aware of it. So be aware of that there are, I mean, I've never seen that pin though either. On the flip side, that's another good point is I've never seen it. So I've seen a lot of Sarah Coventry. I've never seen that pin before. So it almost ended up in my junk lot. And there was another
I'm
pin in
gonna
there that was good. Yeah.
I'm gonna share my screen. I want to show you one. I'm having a hard time pricing. It has
Ooh,
9
nice.
watchers. It's that lapis beetle.
Nice.
Mm. Oh, that's beautiful.
9 watchers and like 119 views, and I just posted it like a day or two ago.
It's nice.
Beautiful.
I think that means you'll get an offer soon then.
I think
When I
so.
have like that many, so I would just keep it at that
I
price.
think you're in the ballpark.
You think it's not too high?
No.
So like my instant reaction, if I didn't see your price, I would have said like $79.99. So basically right there. You're right there,
Okay. Okay.
in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't look it up, but going off of that many views and watchers in like that many days, it usually makes me feel like I'm right on.
Yep. I think you'll get a good offer. Does anybody else have any good jewelry sales, jewelry questions? Otherwise, there was a couple sourcing things that I had happened that maybe you could learn from me.
I just have a quick question. What resource would anyone recommend for learning about like unsigned Native American piece? Well, something I got an auction that I really hope is one. I actually won 4 auctions from one eBay seller last night, and then so the first 3 I got for $3 each, and they all have like 4 or 5 bracelets in them. Some of them charm bracelets, so that's good. I'll get all my money back on that anyway. And then the 4th one I paid 27 for because it has what I think is like an older sterling turquoise cuff bracelet in it, but it's not marked, or at least it didn't show in the pictures. And I don't want to be one of those people that just puts Fred Harvey era in on it and call it a day. Is there like a book or a
So I don't know. Does anybody else know? Because that is like a horrible point of mine. I am lost when it comes to certain Native American stuff.
You said it has a mark?
No, it didn't look like it had a mark in it, and the person who auctioned it definitely didn't notice that.
Gosh, that's tough then.
I can
Um,
post on those groups, I guess. I just wanted to try to do my own
Yeah.
research first. Worst case scenario, I put Fred Harrier and call it a day.
One time I had a Zuni sun, what do they call them? Sun gods, I think. Where the round one, it's full of like mother of pearl and turquoise, and it was a bolo. And I just looking through a Native American book, I found a photo of all these sun god bolos that this one artist made, and it wasn't, I don't believe it was signed. It was signed something like Sterling, something generic, and I thought it had to have a maker. And I found that exact one in that book. So I took a photograph of the picture in the book and put it next to the image and declared it as that artist. But really, was it? I mean, it was the exact one. Was it a remake? I don't think it was a remake. That's why I looked it up. It took me a while to find something similar.
Yeah, I guess my other
Um,
question then or similar would be like, oh, if I don't find it in a book or whatever, like where can I take it to get it tested to confirm for sure it's turquoise, I guess. That'd be the other issue. I didn't think about that.
Don't ask me.
yeah, if all you know it's gonna have to be definitely turquoise. Um,
Remember,
they
didn't that
wouldn't do
lady say to
anything.
lick it or something?
Oh,
That
and then
lady,
message to you.
I was like,
Tested
what?
by
I
licking and rubbing on my elbow, certified turquoise.
I do two things. I use my Presidium, and it usually turquoise is not on the Presidium, but I've learned where the needle would fall. And it's like right after the glass, and like it's almost on the first stone. It's a softer stone, so it I think that's right about where it falls. And then I use rock identifier and test it. Um, and I test it like 2 or 3 times from different lights, different angles to see if it keeps telling me the same thing. And then I am pretty certain it's turquoise, but you know, how light's so similar, you really have to know the difference in the variations of them stones. But um, I generally put turquoise if I'm pretty positive, and I know Carrie is totally against that since she had the one episode
Yeah, but you must
with
have better luck than me. I do not, so I should not be saying turquoise. And I
I made
think
about myself
sometimes
a
I'm really
$27
sure.
project, but I feel like it was potentially hundreds if it's like the other one. So, but that was
I
$5.
know that's that you didn't have good luck with the Native American groups.
Oh, I just won it last night. I didn't get it in the mail yet. I was just gonna buy the book now.
Oh,
It was a book. Yeah, I just won it last night.
There's
okay.
lots of books, but I've never heard one that was like stand out. Everybody raves about it because
Okay,
there's
that sounds
just
about
so
right.
much.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
no good at that.
I don't
I
know.
will say Mexican silver though. So I've been getting so much Mexican silver in those lots that I had, and there's so many marks. There's so much to know about it. In this book, I know it's backwards, Mexican silver hallmarks, really good, helpful book. And maybe it can't tell you exact, but it gets you on the right track. So I do really recommend that book, the Mexican silver book. I think I ended up have to find it on Amazon, but it wasn't really expensive. And I was surprised that there was even like Tiffany and Company Mexican silver marks and stuff like that I would have missed or not realized. So um sometimes we just need to get on the right track. Sometimes we don't, we're not perfect. We just need to get on the right track. So
There is one website that I go to all the time that I love. And I'll look it up, see if I can find it, but I refer to that because I don't have any books on it, so I refer to that one a lot. It's just well laid out, has all the images of all the marks. I shouldn't say all because there's probably a million of them, but it's Native American marks. Yes, here it is. I'll put it in the chat if anybody's interested.
Thanks.
Yeah, for sure. We can use all the help we can get. I've had a couple different sourcing things come up lately, and I have to keep myself in check, just like everybody does. With lot buying, I think lot buying can be really hard and frustrating sometimes. There was one lot that I looked at on Facebook Marketplace for like ever, and I kept thinking, if this is really this good, like why isn't it gone? Do you guys ever question yourself like that? Like, why is this still here if it's really what it says it is? Wouldn't somebody have bought it by now? And it was all like true art deco period brooches. And I think Meg, I think I'd sent it to you and shown you that shown them to you, and you're like, yeah, if you can get them for $5, that'd be great, but like even $10 a piece would be good, that lot. And I just sat on it and sat on it and sat on it, and I ended up offering her half off on it, and she took it. So it ended up being like what I would pay for like a not as good brooch, I guess. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna take my chances. I mean, everything had tube hinges, everything had tuber trombone hinges. I mean, everything was like looked right, but they were supposed to be really big. And I thought, why wouldn't somebody buy these? And I got them, and they were all actually super old,
Yay.
well enameled. They were all enameled,
Wow.
old Art Deco, big ones with the tube hinges. Everything was correct on it, so that was a win. But I will say I do run across scammers all the time on Facebook Marketplace. But I always say, I pay Venmo or PayPal goods and services. So just remember that, because it's really important. If they start saying, oh, I'm having trouble with my account, I need to do Cash App, blah, blah, blah. There may be a Cash App goods and services. I'm not aware of it. I'm not sure. I just don't use that
I think
platform.
you
But
can sign up for a Cash App, like business profile or something I saw.
yeah, so just goods and services. Make sure you're paying through goods and services. I did run across another elderly person that wanted me to, she's like, do they still have COD for delivery? I'm like, I don't think so. And she's like, can you send me a check and I'll send your stuff, and then you send me a check when you get it? And I'm like,
Oh,
I totally will. But like, this is like the second or third time this has happened. And I ended up at a great deal, but like, I still want to shout from the rooftops, like elderly people, please do not send things to people expecting them to send you a check, because I'm absolutely going to send you a check. Not everybody's going to send you a check. So and I told her that. I'm like, I absolutely can. I said, or if maybe your daughter has Venmo or PayPal, maybe I could pay. Like, I just feel wrong. Like, I don't know, even though I know I'm going to send the check, and actually the last lady, I doubled what she asked for in the check because it was so good stuff. And she like wanted $50. And I was like, I'll send you 100. It was really good. It was all like turquoise sterling. It was their mom's jewelry. But just, I don't know. That one isn't a scam, because if I have the goods in my hands and then send her the check, it'd be really hard for her to scam me that way. But otherwise, use goods and services. But what I was gonna say about trying to get the big picture on lots, sometimes it's easy to see like one great brooch or two or three great pieces that you're like, that's really good, and you really like it. You get excited about it, and then go ahead and buy a whole lot, and then realize once you divide out the crap versus the good, maybe it wasn't as good of a deal. Happens to me sometimes. So just evaluate the whole picture. And I think most of us in here are pretty good about that, of looking at the big picture of the lot and being able to say, okay, those are really good, but are they good enough to take over the ones that are bad? Because we have to consider that. I had a lot the other day that I would say was like 50-50. Really good, and then like not as good. But there were two Eisenberg originals in there that were not missing any stones and were in really good shape. And I could see the backs, and they all looked legit. I got it and they were legit. So in that case, I could lot up half of it and take the good and still be fine, because one of those brooches would pay for the whole entire lot. So we have to not get excited and jump the gun just because some of it's really good. Because I've definitely been victim to that, which is just victim to myself. So, just watch that. And also don't get blinded by, sometimes if people are especially estate sale people, sometimes stuff looks not sometimes you have a lot of not great and then some great, and it's sometimes if you ask where it's coming from, that helps decide, because if it's an estate buyer, they're going to have a mix of stuff. So if you see something good, don't just totally discount that it must be not good because the rest of the stuff on the table isn't great either. So it kind of goes both ways. Just be cautious. Makes this Heidi Daw slot on Facebook Marketplace and said send offers. She messaged asking to see the backs. What do you know? They're not posting the updated photos. Yep, there's a lot of Heidi Doss out there that's counterfeit. So yeah, well, I told you that one estate sale company that was online high bid, and they were selling the lots of estate sale jewelry, and then I knew the person they were freight forwarding with on it, or drop shipping, or whatever you want to call it, and they were just buying junk lots, having them shipped to people and saying they were estate sale finds. And
Wow.
I told them, I'm like, you are going to refund me 100%, or I'm turning you into high bid and you'll never ever be selling on there again. And he refunded me, and then I turned him into high bid anyway. So I was a liar, but because he wouldn't respond to me until I said that.
How do you turn people into high bid? Because I've run across some really scammy stuff, you know?
Yep, I messaged, they had a customer service email.
Right. Yeah.
And they don't care if all your stuff arrives broken. They don't consider that a scam.
Yeah.
They don't care about that stuff, but this was like a blatant, it's not coming from where they're saying it's coming from. And
Right.
because I sold it was an eBay label. That's what tricked me. I mean, that's what like tipped me off. And they sent it to Plush and Much. Well, I'm signed up under high bid on my name. And my
Wow.
package came to Plush and Much, which the only packages that come here to Plush and Much are eBay. So I was like, why would I be getting it? And then I looked at it, and it's a jewelry seller that I know. And I was like, hey, what's up with this? And he's like, oh, somebody bought it for you as a gift. And I was like, yeah. So that's what that was. And he's doing it every he's still on there. They didn't take him off. He's still selling every week as selling totes of estate sale jewelry.
Wow. Wow. No, I had a sculpture that I had bid and won. And I mean, I wanted it at a great price. And, initially they'd said it was packed up, it was ready to go. As soon as I won it, a day later, they refunded me and said, yeah, the people packing it broke it. I said, well, I thought it was already packed. Send me pictures. Oh, they moved it all the way back to the, back of the storeroom. No pictures, sorry. I'm going, dude,
Yeah.
You're a liar. And you realize that, I got it for $100 and it's worth about 1,000. That's what it was,
I've had that happen too. Like, oh, it broke.
Yeah. Sure.
So when I first, here's my admitting of the day. When I first started selling, I lost something. And so I told them, hey, the bracelet was fragile, it broke or whatever, And they said, that's fine. I was going to use it for the beads anyway. Send it. And I was like,
oops.
And I was really new in selling. I didn't know anything. It's a wonder I survived my first year selling. So like, that was like a big lesson to me that I was like,
be honest.
Bad. Yeah. To be honest, like, I mean, it was dumb and I shouldn't have done it, but it was definitely a lesson for me. The lesson for me also is apparently I need to sell what Rowdy and Jed have been picking up, because Rowdy has like been shipping all morning, and he just sold a pair of headlights for $150, and he's been like selling hundreds of dollars worth of this junk that he pulled out of that shed for like 2 days straight now.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some high-end pieces in there. I keep trying to get my son to do it because he bought a huge shed. It's probably like 5-car shed, and he has all this space, which he's filling up pretty fast with vehicles, but he has so much room to sell car parts, and he keeps saying, yeah, I need to do that. Yeah, and he never does it. But I had
oh, go ahead. No, you're fine.
Oh, over the weekend, I found a lot on eBay I wanted to buy, and it looked like it was about 50 pieces, but in the listing it says 180 something pieces. And I messaged the guy and said, "Can you clarify that this is 180 something pieces?" And he said, "I'm sorry, we're closed for the weekend. We'll be returning to the warehouse Monday. Be well." And I'm like, so I'm never going to hear back from this guy, and he probably doesn't want to go look it up. And do I message him again, or do you think he's trying to
If it's a good deal, buy it, and then if it's not 180, you return it right back.
Yep.
That's the great thing about eBay.
That's true. But I'm trying to think how he could come back and say something
It's a
to counteract.
Yeah, it's a 9 out if there's
I
not
find a lot of people They deserved it.
I agree.
Yeah, true. And of course, he had a coupon over the weekend and it's expired now.
That happened to me the other day. I slept on something. I was thinking about it, and then it was like, missed the coupon. I should have asked them if they'd still do it because, you know, people don't mind asking me that all the time. But
You're like, oh, I didn't hear
what do I
back
know?
from you and the coupon expired. Can I use the discount still?
Still waiting
Yeah.
for you to answer me.
I did have somebody that I met from the group. Actually, I'll wait till we're not recording. Go ahead.
Oh,
It
I
was a
can
good thing,
stop.
but I don't want to. You're fine.